It's one of the juiciest scandals that may never actually have happened. On the night of abusive Theo's shocking murder, did Gary slip away for a secret meeting with his former love, Sarah Platt? That's the rumor circulating among dedicated Coronation Street fans, and it seems to be gaining traction. While Theo lay dead on the cobbles after a brutal attack, Sarah was also injured on the ground following an assault by unstable Jodie Ramsey after Sarah caught her vandalizing the Platt household when David threw her out. Gary and Sarah once shared a relationship from 2016 to 2019, which ended when Sarah grew tired of Gary's criminal behavior. That breakup came after Gary's increasingly dark path, including involvement in the factory roof collapse that led to Rana Habib's tragic death and the killing of Rick Nealon in self-defense. Although Gary has since turned his life around after settling down with Maria Connor, his violent past makes him a continuing suspect in viewers' minds when it comes to Theo's death. Gary had even employed Theo on a building project and previously defended him against accusations of abuse towards Todd Grimshaw until Sarah convinced him otherwise. Gary has always despised bullies, but his feelings about betrayal and infidelity are less clear. Recently, Gary and Sarah have been seen sharing private conversations around the time of Theo's death and Sarah's attack. On that same night, Gary tried to stop Kit Green from accessing CCTV footage, which reportedly showed Gary damaging Theo's van with a hammer. To cover this, Maria provided him with an alibi. However, some viewers wonder whether the footage might reveal more than just vandalism. With Kit away, Sarah has been repeatedly contacting Gary, saying she misses him. While this could be emotional distress after her ordeal, others believe it may hint at lingering guilt or something deeper. That is exactly what Jodie suspects. While Sarah was on the phone reassuring Gary that he is not alone, Jodie overheard parts of the conversation while sneaking around the house. When confronted, Sarah denied any romantic involvement, but Jodie remained unconvinced and suggested she would keep quiet for now. This has only increased tensions, especially after Maria noticed Gary strongly defending Sarah in conversation. Around the same time, she began to suspect that something was going on between them. Her concerns grow further when she later sees Gary and Sarah sharing an emotional embrace, followed by Gary insisting they delete their messages. Maria watches closely, growing more suspicious by the moment. Worried, Maria confides in Fizz and Izzy, sharing her belief that Gary may be having an affair with Sarah. These rumors eventually reach Todd, who confronts Sarah about Maria's suspicions. Whether Sarah admits the truth remains to be seen, especially as Gary later suggests to a serious-looking Maria that they need to talk, proposing they meet later for dinner. The question now is, will he finally confess everything? Coronation Street has confirmed a major confrontation between Carl and Kevin in a dramatic shooting storyline. Next week, Carl Webster threatens Kevin with a loaded firearm, and the situation quickly escalates into chaos when a gun is discharged. After learning that Carl tampered with his car's brakes, an enraged Kevin grabs a spanner and charges toward him. However, Carl raises the stakes by pulling out a gun and aiming it directly at his uncle. According to actor Jonathan Howard, who portrays Carl, the moment is a panic-driven reaction. He explains that when Kevin grabs the wrench and moves to attack, Carl reacts instinctively and points the weapon simply to protect himself. Those around him are stunned to see him armed, questioning what he is doing with a gun in the first place. Carl is pushed to breaking point, but whether he is capable of actually killing someone remains uncertain. Earlier in the week, Kevin tells Carl that he has received a request for a job reference from another garage, but refuses to support him. Meanwhile, Carl receives a call from a criminal contact named Fiona, who offers him illegal work. Carl initially attempts to refuse, but the large payment and quick turnaround tempt him, as he believes it could help him start fresh. However, as usual, the plan quickly unravels. Later, Kevin views footage of Ruby Dobbs on Tyrone's phone, but mistakenly plays a clip showing Carl interfering with his car's brakes. Furious, Kevin heads straight for Carl, while Tyrone and Ronnie Bailey rush in to prevent things from spiraling. Instead of calming the situation, their involvement makes it worse when Kevin learns they were aware of Carl's actions. Ronnie tries to diffuse the anger by suggesting they move on, but Kevin refuses to forgive what happened. Kevin becomes convinced that Carl deliberately tried to kill him. A tense showdown unfolds inside the garage, where Ronnie locks them all in as Kevin confronts Carl with the wrench. In response, Carl reveals a package sent by Fiona containing a loaded gun. The group freezes as they realize the danger, while Ronnie insists no one leaves until the situation is resolved. Kevin believes the weapon is harmless and takes it, pointing it at Carl. Ronnie desperately tries to intervene, but in the struggle, the gun goes off. After the shocking incident, Fiona later confronts Carl at Chariot Square, warning him that he has only a short time to follow her demands or face serious consequences. Now questions remain over what Fiona is forcing Carl to do next, and whether Kevin, Ronnie, or Tyrone will survive the fallout. In Coronation Street, Gary Windus becomes increasingly unsettled following the latest update in the Theo Silverton investigation. As the inquiry into Theo's death continues, Gary starts to lose his composure when it appears that suspicion may once again fall on him. Kit Green had previously viewed Gary as a possible suspect after Todd Grimshaw's missing phone was discovered in a pawn shop, allegedly linked to Brody Michaelis through fingerprints. Brody later claimed he found the device inside a skip near the builder's yard. But despite this explanation, Kit remained unconvinced and continued to keep Gary under scrutiny. This came even as Summer Spellman was awaiting trial for Theo's murder after being arrested, when a brooch found at the scene was traced back to her, alongside other strong evidence against her. However, a major twist in recent events suggests attention could shift back toward Gary once again. The situation began when Carl Webster told Tyrone Dobbs that he was experiencing memory flashes from the night he was injured and believed it happened inside the garage. Tyrone was shaken by this revelation, especially as he also knew he had seen Summer on the night Theo died and might be able to clear her name, potentially preventing a prison sentence. Feeling overwhelmed, Tyrone confessed everything to Fizz Dobbs, admitting that he knew Summer was innocent, that he had caught Carl interfering with Kevin Webster's car brakes, and that during the incident he accidentally dislodged the car jack, causing the vehicle to fall onto Carl. Tyrone also revealed that he had recorded the incident on his phone. Fizz urged him to take the footage straight to the police. Later, Tyrone confronted Carl and showed him the recording, stating that Carl's actions amounted to attempted murder and that he intended to submit the evidence to the authorities to help free Summer. Gary, who was also present during this confrontation, struggled to hide his growing fear. With Summer now expected to be released back onto the cobbles, the number of alternative suspects is narrowing, potentially placing Gary back under police focus. Coronation Street continues to air on weekday evenings at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1 and is available for streaming on ITVX.